if your goal is become a special operator, but you are unsure where to start with that pursuit, then this is going to be a good conversation for you, because we're going to get into what step one is to get yourself ready and prepared to take the leap and pursue a career in special operations. A lot of times we think that we have to get a good training program, right? Find the best training program that's going to physically prepare me for basic, physically prepare me for the pipeline, your respective selection that you need to go through. And I would argue that before you even start a training program, there needs to be a shift in mindset. Before there's a shift in mindset, you need a full understanding of what job you want to go into, right? So step one is really understanding what job you're going into. What are the job requirements? What does your day-to-day look like, right? So that then you can make that verbal commitment to yourself because you have a deep and full understanding. And then that job is going to be your top priority. Because we can talk about discipline, we can talk about consistency, we can talk about ownership, but if you don't have that deep understanding of what you're getting yourself into, and you don't shift that to your number one priority on a day-to-day basis, I don't care what training program you're on, I don't care what nutrition plan you're on, I don't care what mental performance training that you're doing on a day-to-day basis, if you don't have that deep understanding, if you don't have that priority number one, that's going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard to keep yourself on track, to stay disciplined, to stay consistent, to take ownership of your day-to-day, because all that starts with shifting your priorities. Becoming a special operator, becoming a Green Beret, becoming a SEAL, becoming a PJ needs to be your number one priority, so that you can dedicate the time, you can dedicate the physical energy, you can dedicate the mental energy to get yourself to a place where you're a top candidate, can make it through selection, make it through Hell Week, make it through your respective pipeline, and come out the other side a special operator, right? So when you have a deep understanding of what you're getting yourself into, when you shift that priority to number one, then the rest of it comes pretty easy, because your day-to-day is going to reflect, you're going to make decisions that are going to reflect that number one priority. It's going to be easier to be disciplined. Easier, not easy, right? It's going to be easier to stay consistent with training, with nutrition, because each action, each decision that you make on a day-to-day basis is going to reflect that number one priority, that number one goal, that number one aspiration of making it through the pipeline and becoming a special operator. And the next step is then, once you get through that first few steps of having a deep understanding, shifting to number one priority, and having that decisive action on your day-to-day, that each action you're going to take, each step you're going to take is reflecting to the end goal, then we can start looking at training programs. Because if you start a training program too early, you're going to be swimming upstream. So you need to be ready to take that action. And when you're ready to take that action, it's up to you to decide, what kind of training program are you looking for? Are you looking for just a template that you run that's not specific to you? Are you looking for a one-on-one coach to guide you through the process and mentor you through the process? That's up to you. right? But it all starts with having a deep understanding, making it your number one priority, and building discipline. Don't hit those top first three steps. It's going to be very hard to build that physical and mental strength, as well as leadership skills that are going to put you at a top tier candidate to reach your end goal of becoming a special operator.